Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong, and I wanted to show you a journal that I'm making. I'm almost finished with this. I came out here last night and started cleaning up a little bit. You know how you end up with partial projects, and there's always a lot floating around in this workshop because I do the fun packs, and I'm just always making journals, and there's always a stack of leftovers. This journal is so much fun. I decided to pull everything down from my works in progress shelf. I mean, I have a couple of things left there that are really specific that I didn't want to take apart yet, but I also had a lot of partial fun packs. And you're seeing bits and pieces of those all over the desk. And I'm going to clean up here in a little bit. But I wanted to show you this. So there's a piece of fabric that was quite large. And I folded it. I just folded it in half and cut a file folder to fit inside that fold of fabric. And then I stitched all around and did just a few, loops under the sewing machine to give it kind of a quilted feel, not anything dramatic, but just to hold everything down. And then I took a lot of the papers that were just, left over from the fun packs, and I did a 2-hole binding. I have an awl that's pretty large. It's really sharp. And then if you put it all the way through the paper and fabric, it does make kind of a large hole for the string or whatever you're using to go through. I don't have a crocodile. I wish I did. And at some point I do plan to get one, but let's just look through here. You might remember a piece of this was in some of the fun packs, and then we had this fun charm. I guess it's a key ring. I just left the whole thing intact and sewed around it at the end of this, and then went through my hardware and found this clip so it will close just like that. And we have a lot of room left to add to the journal. And I just started taking leftover fabric, and there's still quite a bit of leftover fabric that I have to add. And you see little cards and things. I've added fabric everywhere, and I'm going to work on this a little bit longer this morning off camera and do as much as I can. But there's a lot of fabric, and I did sit down and write some quotes. I wonder if that'll fit in there. Yes. Okay. That's perfect. I love those flowers. I think I'll leave it turned that way, especially with all of this. I tore pages in half and just glued them down. And again, another quote. I also like to cover the thread sometimes from where I've been sewing. And a fun way to do that is just to take a sentence of text. You can take 1 line or 2 lines. It depends on, this is from that book, Emma, with the large print. Mr. Woodhouse in his quiet way, I had once, I felt. So it's not a complete sentence, but it's just words, which can be very fun. So you just put a little bit of glue and put that sentence over it, and it covers up the stitching. And that's the kind of mindless thing that makes journaling so fun. It's relaxing. This was not planned to be some fancy journal, but I love it. I think it is so fun and so colorful. And again, I wrote quotes in here with Sharpies, just continued to fold pages. This was going to be a little envelope, but it ended up sealing when I closed it. I think maybe I had I don't know how it did that. Maybe it was stickier than I thought when I put it in here. But then I accidentally sewed over the top anyway. So that's fine. And just going on through, there's a library card in here. And that's a book page and then a piece of map. And then I cut a flower out of the fabric and just, see, there's also a pocket here if I want to use it. Could put something in there. I don't really want to put that in there, but we could. And you know what? I could add little fabric tabs to these to make them easier to pull out. Of course, they wouldn't be big tabs, just really small ones. So I will take these out and plan to do that. And then that's a good writing space. I love this paper. That was from a previous fun pack. We've got bits of book pages. You don't ever have to use an entire book page. You can take out quotes, just bits and pieces. So And there's one of the postcards. I know we've had several postcards go out. There's a page from one of the old yearbooks, and everybody got one of those in the fun packs. And this was a quote from Susan Branch. Am I saying that right? My mind this morning. Look, I've not even finished my first cup of coffee. Pray to God, but continue to row toward shore. That's a Russian proverb. But I love that one of the pages said, burn, baby, burn, disco inferno. And we've got that with that old picture, which I think is really funny. I don't know what's stuck under that. Cut that off. And then I love this pocket. So we've got this fabric, the shiny fabric here. And then I love this fabric too. Some of that went out in one of the fun packs. I think there's more of that here somewhere. I really like that fabric a lot. I think it looks so old and Victorian. I used that really pretty stitch on the sewing machine. It's number 41 on the Brother Runway to sew the two pieces of fabric together. But then they're glued to the page because I did this embellishing after the pages were bound into the journal. And sometimes you can put a journal back under the sewing machine. I do that sometimes, and I did it here on the back cover, but a lot of times it's just not possible. So there's just fabric glued down. I love that we can see just part of that image. And then there's the center, so pretty. I love that. I love the red and the yellow there. And that's not colors that I work with very much. So I don't know why. I just think it's really pretty there together. And there's just a page with a recipe. We could end up doing something with that. Oh, it's funny. So in the front here, there's a piece of paper from the gel plate. I was going to do an image transfer, and I don't know if it was just the page, the ink or whatever, but it did not take at all. I may have also had too much paint on the gel plate. I'm not sure, but anyway, I just folded it up and put it in the front. And then we have one of the little embellishments that had been in the fun packs. There's another one right there in the front. I think there were two in one of those packs. And that's just glued down to be able to flip up. I put tape over the stitching here, shiny duct tape. I love duct tape, and I usually keep several rolls on hand to use for things like this. I want to make a pocket for that, so let's pull that out. That was one of the postcards. Matt LeBlanc, I love him. And let's see. So there's the front of an old catalog from the late 1800s. And of course, it was falling apart, very, very stiff and brittle. So I photocopied it or took a picture of it, and I will make sure to share that, the digital copy. And there's a little pocket here, although I think this is going to be too wide to go in there, so we'll find something else to go in that pocket. And there's just a safety pin here. That's what all the little, I don't know if you got the fun pack with all the sample pieces. So I've got these over by the sewing machine. I'm going to use these to make more tabs for different things, because I wanted this journal to be just full. And yeah, it's fun to just glue things in. We could even use fabric to make a frame for this. In fact, I probably will do that. That would be cool, actually, just to cut little strips. It is so windy here. I always just really not scared, but I do think about it when I'm out here because of all the large trees in the backyard. And our power was out for quite a while. I'm so grateful it came back on. I didn't think I would even have coffee this morning because the power went out early this morning due to the wind, I guess. But then just as I was about to get out some matches and try to light the gas stove and maybe do something with some coffee, some ground coffee and water, the power came back on. So thankfully it did, but I do think about the trees out here, because that, in the last storm that we had, a lady in town was killed when a tree fell on her. It's just so sad. It happened so fast, and there's not much warning. I'm saying all this out loud. It makes me want to go inside, and I don't know how long I'll stay out here. I definitely wanted to show you this journal this morning, and I do want to keep working on it. Let's see. Well, that looks like a curtain. Maybe we could make that more like a curtain. But then if we do it like a curtain, I'm wondering what we're going to put across the bottom. That's kind of cool. And I like that that's standing up a little bit. It does look like a curtain. We could just take another color and maybe add some color to that white part of the cutout, which is rolling up. That's really weird. That's cool. Oh, hello. Well, let's add just a little bit of water. That's kind of interesting. Maybe that will dry. You know what I'll do? I will put this right here. It's okay if we get some paint on the back of that and just leave that there for a while. Oh, see, I need to add a fabric piece to this page. Again, I just want this to be full. I want every page to have some sort of fabric. Here are the samples that went out. So I just tied all mine together, and this is where I took it back to the sewing machine after the journal was already bound. And fortunately, I had enough room. That's another reason I love a soft cover journal. It's got the file folder in here, which gives it enough stability not to be floppy, but it's really easy to work with. And it doesn't get the same kind of gator mouth as a hardcover. Like this could gape a little bit, but when you close it, you know, it helps it to lay back down. I don't know. I just think they're really pretty. It's my absolute favorite. I thought I would work in this one a little bit more this morning, though, and just add some color. So that's what I'm going to do now. I won't start that right away. I'll go ahead and finish up this video. Well, I hope everybody has a wonderful, safe day, and I will be back soon. Bye for now.